Here we go, we've got another interesting bike here now that our member Ray has restored. I take it you've restored it, Ray, have you? Yep.
Yes.
And to me it looks a typical Ray restoration. It's absolutely spot on. Can you give us a little history of it?
I picked it up from a neighbour up at a place called Tolmy where I've got a property. He had it in a shed and we were talking about restoring something or other. This is all just 12 months before I joined the club. Anyway, he said, look, I might have something that'll interest you, and he said it was a red Panther. I'd never heard of them. So he went over to this shed. Well, the only thing he could see out of all the junk that he'd collected from clearance sales was the handlebars. Everything else was buried. So we dragged it out, and it was only not even half a bike. Fuel tank missing, back wheel was missing, a lot of broken stuff on it, all the levers on the handlebars were missing, gear change, you name it. So I thought, well, okay, it'll be a challenge. It had a BSA gearbox in it, which I had to change, of course. And I took it home and started working on it.
Where did you find the tank?
The tank I got from the Ballarat swap meet.
You're joking.
No, I've got some photos actually here of what it was like when I first got it. And I just spent 2 years on and off working on it, but I had to make most of the stuff for it, like the chain guard, the toolbox, the back part of the guard. I put a piano hinge in here, had to make part of that, had to make the levers on the handlebars, all the gear change, all the headlight brackets. I didn't have a headlight.
What is the 250 or 350?
No, it's a 350.
350.
And yeah, so it was 2 years and on and off, as I say, and I quite enjoyed doing it. Even the nuts and bolts, even the head of the bolts are rounded, domed like the nuts. Well, they were all rounded off, you know, with the wrong spanners over the years. So I used to get out at night with my oxyacetylene and weld them all up and refile them all to get them to original.
Well,
so,
it's a credit to you. And I think it's interesting because I think the further they went, the more angle of the cylinder, and eventually they did away with the front down tube, didn't they?
Yeah,
the big ones.
That was on the big one. Yeah, that was on the 600, which most of those were built for sidecars. And yes, they used the motor as part of the frame.
Well,
But,
it's very, very tidy, Ray, and it's...
Yeah, no, thanks. I enjoyed doing it. And I've been on one rally with it in the early days. We were heading out towards Wandong way from memory, and Roger Andrews was following me. And when I did it up, I couldn't buy the correct valves, so it's got Valiant valves in it, but they're machined down to fit. And I made them a bit too neat, and I'm going along the road, and he's following me, and all of a sudden there was a big flame shot out the exhaust, went with a bang, and I lost power. So we get over the side of the road, no compression. So I just kept working on it, and all of a sudden the compression come back. And Roger said, "You got to slow down." I said, "I'm not going quick." He said, "Yes, you are." He said, "I'm having trouble keeping up because I got no speedo."
If Roger said that, you were going.
Yeah. And of course what happened, the exhaust valve seized, picked up, and that's what happened. But after sitting there for a while, it freed up and I rode home. And I haven't ridden it since.
Well, what year is it?
It's 1936.
Because I had a 38 BSA, and you know, it was really an adventure.
Yeah.
Every time you went out on it, you never quite knew what was going to happen.
Because of the hand gear change, yes, it's a handful. And the throttle is made in such a way that wherever you put it, that's where it stays.
Oh, okay.
And that's to help you with the gear change.
So you,
And the way it works inside, there's a tube under the grip, and it's got 2 slots on an angle, and it's got 2 slides that work in it. One's got the outer cable connected, the other one's got the inner. And as you turn it, it pulls out on these slides, and that is your throttle.
How complicated is that?
Yeah, I had to make that too, that was all missing.
Oh, good luck. Decent sized brakes, do they work?
They work, yeah.
In a fashion?
Oh, no, they do.
They're good?
They're quite good, actually. Yeah.
I was just saying with the guy that's got the Rudge, because Rudge were the really big brake drums early on.
Yes.
I said on my BSA they were about the size of a Kiwi boot polish tin, you know, and about as effective. You know.
Oh, right, no, these are a bit better than that.
But no, it's very neat, and it's really nice. You've done a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for bringing along.
That's all right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
No problems. Good.